Lauren Smith. I am going to go ahead and apologize because we have ice across our state, and we might mention that we are going to keep powering through. Right now, my connection says 2 out of 10. So that's also how my day is going. So far, it looks like I am getting to YouTube. I haven't seen anyone pop up for Facebook yet, so might just be going live on YouTube tonight, which is fine. There's a Facebook. Okay, so tonight we have Mr. Jonathan Odom. He is back for part 2, as promised. He has more to say. We could not get all in an interview, so we definitely have so it's all for being here. I'm going to Jonathan on here in a mere moment, but first I wanted to let a few more people jump on, and I have some news. You can help me share that news here. How about that? How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous. Fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Good.
Jonathan me sweat and panic a little bit whenever I go live. He is so kind. He had me just breathe. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Show goes down. We can always reschedule or send signals or something.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of ice across our state now. We had sleet and then freezing rain and then snow. So we were caught it today. The kids were out of school all day. They're out of school tomorrow. Which in my day, whenever we had a snow day, that meant that you had a free day to do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
But nowadays, when a kid gets a snow day, it means that the parents have to be here and do their job.
Yep.
The kids are at school, so it sucks for them. I feel really bad. You know?
Oh yeah, it's double duty. Duty.
Yeah, double duty. Okay. Everybody here. I do want to let you guys know if you have any questions for Jonathan tonight, just be sure to type any questions and I will snatch those up, save them for whenever I can get to them. Also, you can check out Jonathan's YouTube channel, and that will for videos of his research, and the link is in the description of this video.
I think. Uh-oh.
They still might see you though.
No, it broke. She lost the connection.
I said, Jonathan, it's your show now, buddy. Go. One job, man. One job.
Exactly. So I guess, does the power stay on up there when it goes out like that?
Yeah, our power stays on for the most part here in Broken Arrow. But it does affect our connectivity. So our phone line, all of that do go out sometimes, which apparently is happening tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Several other people were talking about my shirt.
Okay.
I was like, it's not an official sponsor, but I understand. I like the beer, so.
Awesome. Oh my god, that's funny. Audio horrible.
Yeah.
You know that? My audio is horrible.
Well, it's probably that ice.
People feel the need to point that out.
Yes. Everybody's positive.
Uh-huh. Connectivity may be bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may have to end.
Well, we can reschedule. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all.
Yeah, we may have to. Hold on. We may have to if it doesn't. I think it. I mean, it's just. It seems like it's just because
Yeah. Here we go, guys. How's everybody doing? I guess we'll pick up the slack while we figure out what's going on. Everybody having a good night? Give me a thumbs up if you're having a good night. Thumbs up, thumbs up. There we go. Joe Parker, how are you? Everybody say, there we go. Here we go. Say, Jamie, you like the shirt? I'm from Alabama, from Birmingham, Alabama. Well, I guess we will talk about Bigfoot. So, anybody know anything about Bigfoot? Yes, it's the weather's kind of cool here in Alabama. It's been in the 30s. This weekend. It's going to get in the 40s. So it's going to be kind of warm. Me and my wife's going to the family hunting camp. There's an investigation I've been doing there for a couple of months, and it's a busy little area. So we go down there probably a couple times a month, every couple of months. We're there all the time. Ride the side by side around, use the thermal. It's right down there by the river where there have been several big sightings, and so it's. I know where Theodore is. Yes, sir, I sure do. That Mobile Delta down there in the Mobile Delta, there's a lot of creatures in that area. If we get reports, a lot down there. What's a Bigfoot? Hey, Steve, how are you? What's a Bigfoot? Well, I know it walks bipedal, and I've got it sometimes on my thermal. It has hair on it. It's usually pretty big, and it's out in the woods. Jamie, I haven't done very much recording ghost hunting while I'm doing Bigfooting. A lot of times I'll have a Bigfoot encounter and you'll see paranormal stuff. It kind of mixes a lot. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I try to just try to focus on one or the other. Usually when I focus on one or the other, something happens. You see something odd. And yes, Joe Parker, I have night vision, I have thermal, a couple of thermals. I love my thermals. Best piece of equipment I think there is. So, do I ever go outside of the state to research? Yes, all the time. And it's just, they're everywhere. But, sightings have I had? I've seen it probably 7 or 8 times during the daylight. I've seen it probably more than that on thermal and with the flashlight. The best piece of equipment I have is my thermal. Thermals are becoming real affordable now. That's the best thing. If it puts off heat, you can always see it. I've got a couple of good thermal images on my Facebook group, some on my YouTube, and a lot I don't publish. I just don't really feel the need to publish them. I was there; it happened. It's pretty cool. I never go to North Carolina. I've been wanting to go to North Carolina and see some of my buddies. Flat Rock, is Jonathan close to you? I think I am, Squatching Cowboy. Uh, have I had a straight sighting rather than electronic? Yeah, Brian, I've seen it probably 7 or 8 times. Confirmed, real close, a couple far off. So yeah. Flat Rock, I'm probably in the middle of the state, probably more the eastern side, uh, around Edison area. So let me make sure nobody's messaging me here. Hey, everybody said that Lauren must be letting everybody know that she's going to reschedule me, and so that's not a problem at all. Yeah, Aniston's a pretty big, active area. Hold on a second, guys. We're pondering. But anywhere in the woods, there's going to be creatures if they're in the area. Yes, thank you, Mid South Squatch. I've been doing it a couple of years now for the YouTube. A lot of the stuff I do on YouTube, I do also. I do a lot of private stuff too, so I don't film it a lot. From your experience, is Bigfoot aggressive in southern states? It's heard that this is true. I think any creature can be aggressive if cornered. I think it's just different cases. Could it be? Yeah, there's areas that it's kind of seems to be a little bit aggressive. Any more questions? Have you ever been to Uwharrie National Forest in North Carolina? No. I have. I haven't, but I have several very close friends. Bob Trent, Dwight Campbell, Tim Dillis that work that area. And it's a very strange area. Some people say it's because of the quartz rocks. I don't know if that's what the case is. It's just a very strange area. Uwharrie is a very good area. And it's, so here's a good one. Before you sign off, my name is Jonathan Odom, JONATHANTHODOM. Jonathan Odom. Look for the beard. Have you ever pulled any Bigfoot jokes on anyone when scouting? Well, no, I haven't, but I have a very funny story. I was at Pine Glen Cemetery, or not Pine Glen. I was at Pine Glen Campground, and we had just had a sighting there, so I was walking through the field, and it was the middle of the day, and I got out in the middle of the field, and I thought I heard a wood knock, and so heard this wood knock, and I decided that I was going to yell. So I sat back and I yell, and I sit back, get real quiet, and I don't hear anything. So I sat back and I yell again, ah! And then I heard this little voice squeak up and say, I don't know if you're a blank Bigfoot or whatever you are, but I hope you're a human being because you're scaring the crap out of me. And I about died when I heard that, when that happened to me, because it was just like, holy crap, somebody's out here walking the trail and I didn't know they were there. So yeah, I've had funny things happen with hunting Bigfoot. Did you ever find out about the Screaming Lady audio? No, I never did. I don't know what's going on with it. 529 still open. It's a very active road, so I don't know. It's one of them crazy things that happen in the forest nobody seems to know about, I'm a fourth generation coon hunter from West Virginia. I come around to South Carolina. Do you ever talk to coon hunters about Bigfoot? Doug Miller, yes. Coon hunters are a big source of information about Bigfoot, whether it's in the area, what they've seen. Actually, one of the probably best sources of information is a coon hunter. They're always in the woods. There's always listening, and it's. Yes, so that's a very good. Have you had a Bigfoot experience, Doug? Do you know Ryan from Foster Forest Bigfoot? He's in Alabama. Yes, I do know Ryan. I haven't talked to Ryan in quite a long time. I think he's somewhere in Anniston. So yes, I know Ryan. Great guy. Let me see. Let me go on keeping up with the chat here. Hey, Pat, how are you? I hope you're doing well tonight. Hey, buddy. Hey, Tim. Tim's going to come down in Alabama on March the 19th at 4 o'clock. We're going to have a Bigfoot meetup with a lot of local people. Tim Dillis, a good friend of mine. I haven't yet shook his hand. I want to meet him, kind of shake a hand with him. And Bob's coming down. We have a lot of people coming down, so it's going to be March the 19th at 4 o'clock. Alabama Paranormal and Bigfoot on Facebook. You can look that up too. So, okay. Had a couple of wood knocks at man hunting camp a few weeks ago. Yes, man, man hunting camps, one of them places that there's a lot of people that stay there that hear nothing, and there's people that stay there and they hear all kinds of crazy things. So it's and Steve, we'll get together, man. Schedules, crazy things happening, life, and we'll get together one day. I know I keep putting you off, so. Brian Empathy, the Ocean Mountain area is quite the place to go. Yes, Brian, I've heard a lot of good things about that area. Very good things. Mr. Smith or Mr. White from Arkansas goes there quite a bit. Just a very, very active place. Paramedic, I stood around beside the entrance of the field for a long time, and I never saw anybody. But people go through there all the time because the Pinhoti Trail's through there. So but I never did. But that whole area is very active in the springtime, and I've getting a lot of reports from that area. Tim Phillips and Dwight Campbell, yes, sir. Alan Laster. Do Bigfoot tap on trees with sticks? Squatchy Night said, do a Bigfoot tap on trees with sticks? I've heard wood knocks, and I couldn't explain them. Have I ever seen Bigfoot do it? No. Is it supposedly attributed to Bigfoot? Yes. There's 2 places in Alabama I hear wood knocks. One's in Hollins, and another's a private residence in Margaret, Alabama. Hear a lot of wood knocks in that area. Other in Talladega National Forest. There's a couple other places, but not very many. Okay. Tim York, I hope you're good. Lots of energy in the courts. Gluttony Nights Radio. Yeah, I think so, brother. I think so. Hey, Brandon, I hope you're doing good, my friend. I think Brandon is in the Bluntsville area. I think. Brandon, I think you're in Bluntsville. Big area. Like I said, lots of creatures in that area. They're everywhere, I guess it seems like, But Alabama's a very good area with Bigfoot. There's, like I said, Brandon and them's in the Bluntsville area, kind of the middle. They're all over the place, and Alabama has a lot of good researchers. I don't think we probably get together and talk as much as we need to, but they have some good researchers in Alabama. In the Southeast, for every YouTube researcher, there's 3 or 4 people that's not even on YouTube that don't publish that just do good work. Brandon's one of them people. Does great work. Do the locals easily talk about sightings? It can very tight-lipped in Pennsylvania. Most people now, since Finding Bigfoot has come out, is pretty. They're pretty down with Bigfoot. They're not worried about Bigfoot. I get a lot of reports, a lot of ghost reports, a lot of paranormal, a lot of UFO, just a lot of weird shit. But most of the people now, Bigfoot is mainstream. Some people want to tell me their story, and I take the reports, and then some people just want to get it off their chest. So it depends on who you're talking to, Brian says, it is definitely hard to say anything if you haven't seen it, but speculation and interference according to evidence is a good indicator. Vague statement. It is. And, I'm to the point with my Bigfoot hunting that I don't need to prove it to anybody else. I don't really care. I've seen it enough. I've heard it enough. I've seen enough. I've took up enough reports. mountain. And the main thing now is my time. My time is very important. So I try to go to private areas where I've had good reports or good action, and make my percentages go up just a little bit. It's just hard because you may be in a Bigfoot area, but the Bigfoot may not be there, or you may be in the Bigfoot area and they're there and they're just not interested in you. And then the one deciding factor that I have is the thermal. It kind of cuts the darkness. You can see through the darkness. Doug Miller says, I hunt 4 months a week, have had many encounters with the hounds not hunting a certain area. A juvenile Bigfoot would just stay out of my lot. That does not surprise me. There's many places the dogs will not go, and a lot of times with Bigfoot, it's a huge indicator. We've had some odd things happen, and my dogs kind of act up. Pyromatic says, I saw a video of a gorilla making a dominance display. When it slapped the ground a few times, it sounded like a wood knock. And that's quite possible. Delane Hunaway Parker, can you PM to me tomorrow? I don't know if that's for me. What's the weirdest thing you have seen in the forest, Alan? That's a good one. Well, weirdest thing. Weirdest thing, I don't know. I've seen a lot of weird stuff in the woods. I tell people a lot that there's more things in the woods besides Bigfoot, and what I mean by that is there's animals, but there's other spiritual things in the forest. I've seen several ghosts. A couple of weeks ago, I was down walking on a Forest Service road, and I saw a guy behind me, heard him crunch through the road behind me, walked behind me. There was nothing there. I got the thermal out. I use my thermal during the day all the time. I say that all the time. Got it out, couldn't find him. And it's just odd. There's just when you're in the woods enough, there's 1,000 odd things that happen. People just are not in the woods or not. Are you familiar with the white thing on the Cobble River here in St. Clair County? I am, Delane. I worked with a guy over in the Margaret area below Blair Farm Road. There's a video that I don't know if it's been published. I think it published it on Alabama Paranormal and Bigfoot, where you've got this creature walking across the edge of the field. It's about a minute and 20 minutes. Not a minute and 20 minutes. It's about a minute and 20 seconds, but it's slow as crap. It's taking its time. It looks white. So yes, I'm very very aware of the white thing. It's on the Cahaba River. It's all over St. Clair County. Weirdest thing I've seen was a dog miss materials in front of me. Well, that is, a dog man will definitely get your attention. And that's the white thing in St. Clair County. The white thing, it's I've seen that footage and it looks pretty convincing, but you just don't know until you could examine it up close. Did I figure out what the floating cube thing was? No, Brandon, I never did. There was some people from JP Labs that wanted to see it. I sent it out there, and it was an odd one. There was a lot going on that night. I had Richard with me that night, and Richard's real sensitive to the supernatural stuff, and he was acting with. And usually when I'm using the thermal and somebody else is using the other thermal, I'm concentrated on looking. And then that night, I don't know. So no, Brandon, it's. Who knows? Might be a UFO. I don't know what the hell it was. It was just odd as shit. A lot of people say, well, there's nothing in the woods except just Bigfoot, not Bigfoot, but animals. And there is a lot of stuff in the woods. There's a lot of unexplained stuff in the woods. And the last portion you mentioned, you would talk about Bong Band or your encounters with kind of share your experiences. Yeah, Cryptoville, I will, hey, Richard, I will talk about it when I come back on with Lauren and everything. I've got several weird experiences and some crazy investigations I have, but I'll talk more about it, but I don't answer anything else you want me to. Brian says, I agree with your statement earlier. The general said that the best evidence we'll never see. A good portion we probably see is junk. I see good stuff on a personal level of people I know. Yeah, it's... and it is very true. There's so much evidence out there. There's people that I know that have great evidence and they just don't care. Doug Teague in North Carolina has got a lot of good evidence. Some of his stuff's been used and it's just it's fascinating stuff. Okay, we saw it in the Hanging Rock on the Cahaba River while camping. I have several reports there, Delane. That does not surprise me. When you're in the woods by yourself, how many times have you been in an oh shit moment? Flat Rock, I try to be very careful in the woods. I let my wife know where I'm going. I usually have a GPS receiver on me. I have a first aid kit, just a lot of different equipment. Uh, I've had a couple of oh shit moments where I've fell and rolled down cliffs and done stupid shit like that, and logs rolled out from under me. I've had a lot of weird shit happen in the woods. I just try to make sure it does not get to the point, because in the summertime, there's a lot of big snakes out there. There's timber rattlers, there's cottonmouths, and in the winter time or the summertime, it's very dangerous. I wear a lot of snake boots just for that very purpose. Let me see. Yeah, Cryptoville, anytime. Yes, sir, brother. I have seen some weird people in the woods. There's a lot of weird people. People don't realize they're there. Do you think the lizard man is real? I guess anything is kind of real, I guess. I haven't seen your YouTube channel. Do you find it to be a good outlet to say your observations? There's a lot on YouTube. I find myself having a hard time watching. What YouTube channels I really watch is I don't really watch a whole lot. I put my stuff on, and my stuff is just a glimpse of what I'm doing at the moment, private wise and public. I don't share half of my stuff just for that reason. YouTube, it's the beast that has to be fed all the time, and I want to be out there researching, and I research a lot. Okay, Doug Milner, his grandfather ran a trap line in the 1930s. He told me of a family of Bigfoot that would take the trap down with a steel trap and eat it. One time he had set a double trap to catch a toe of the thief. Bigfoot built a double trap completely backwards. That does not surprise me, Doug. I mean, the old timers always talked about, seeing these things. I just got a great book, The Historical Bigfoot, in the mail. Very excited about that book. Hold on a second. Let me show it to you. Yes, I just got this book in the mail, The Historical Bigfoot. Very excited about it. Has a section about Alabama in there, and just cool stuff. Yeah, I've had a lot of oh shit moments in the woods. I just try to be real careful. I've had a lot of people try to come up on me in the woods. I use my thermal to watch my back when I'm in the woods. I've had several people try to sneak up on me. I've met people in the woods. I didn't expect there to be people in the woods. That's always unnerving. It's just odd when you go around a corner and there's never been anybody there and there's someone there. But any more questions? Let's keep it going. Okay. Probably if you're going to get in Bigfooting, I think everybody needs to get a thermal. The thermals are really getting really good, even at the entry levels. It's something that you can get. You can record. Night vision is pretty cheap now. You can get it at Walmart. It uses the infrared reflectors, so they're really good as long as they record. All righty, we have more questions. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving along. I'm trying to make sure. Somebody said something about the lizard man. No, I haven't seen the lizard man, but I've seen some weird shit with people. How close have you ever come to a Bigfoot? 2 weeks ago, I was probably within 20 feet of one. I've been within 10 feet of one and had it on the thermal in the daylight. And I heard something behind me, and I was worried about snakes. And I turned, and that quick, the thing moved out of the thermal frame that quick. And it was really close. It was the first one I ever really smelled, but it was hot in the middle of the summer. It was like 98, so if it wasn't smelling, it wasn't real, What do you think of the sightings of the Talladega National Forest? Delane, yes, I work a lot on them sightings. There's a lot of creatures in the National Forest. They're kind of scattered out. Anywhere in the Hollins area, anywhere around Adams Gap, that area, lots of creatures up and down through there. Little people encounters. Yeah, Cryptoville, I've had a couple of them in my time hunting. I've had a lot of experiences with seeing the little feet footprints, and on the Alabama Paranormal and Bigfoot Facebook group, I've got a lot of them. There's a lot of them pictures on there. When you find them, it's just odd. You know, paramedic, no, he wasn't visible to the eye. I could smell him, and he was diagonally to him, and I could see him on the thermal, and he was just like this in front of me. And then I heard something behind me, and I turned, and as soon as I turned, on the thermal, you can see him move off, and then he moved off, and I couldn't. But in saying that is, with the thermal, you can be beside it. You can be in a deer with a thicket with a deer, and you can see it with a thermal when you take your eye. It's so hard to see. So I couldn't see it. Maybe I'm just blind as a bat too, though. So who knows? Okay, let's see. Yes, probably he was visible to die, but it was just I don't know. It was more of a smell type of thing, and I could see the bushes, but I couldn't never pick it out. Cheehaw, yes, they're all over Cheehaw, all that whole area. Pennsylvania, I hate encounters with them. They make me nervous. Yes, there's a lot of odd stuff out there. Thermal record, one thing about thermals that people always tell me, they get a thermal and they never push record. I've got a bunch of friends that have thermals that use them. But, if you're going to get a piece of equipment, push record. Don't tell me you see a Bigfoot and you got a camera sitting right beside you, you didn't push record, because I'm going to say you didn't see Bigfoot. A lot of evidence I try to document just from what I've seen, and then the thermal. That one I saw the other day, if I'd have got it on thermal, I would have seen it and then had it on thermal. Double whammy, but we didn't get it, so it's not a problem. If you tend to see people more often than you would like, then tell us what distinctive things make you favor the idea that you are seeing a Bigfoot. Well, one thing is caused the smell. A lot of times when I'm going into an area, of course, I check for cars. A lot of times it's Forest Service roads. The people that I've come upon have been usually so loud in their camps that I heard them before they saw me. So I was able tactically to come in. With a Bigfoot, they're not going to let you – they'll let you get close, but they're also going to have a way to retreat from the back. They're the most sound things I've ever seen in my life, because they match you move for move. There is nobody out there, I don't give a shit who you are, that you're going to sneak up on one of these things. The best way to do it is, if you're in an area where they are, is have a bonfire, and usually that draws them in. I hope I answered your question. Well, with the Bigfoot, on the thermal, the height is pretty big, and you can see a lot of the fine hair. And usually when I know somebody's out there, even if it's a Bigfoot, I'll still scout the area around in a big circle just to cut sign and just to see what's out there and make sure it's not nobody. Most times the homeless people are found in the spring, because that's when it's cooler than forest. Okay, let's see here. I hope I answered that for you, Brian. Okay, good deal. I got something that looks like a hairy little person on a tram cam. I assume it's not all there. Its lower legs are missing. Paramedic, you just never know. Game cams catch a lot of things. One thing about YouTube that I think people do not realize is Bigfoot is probably being caught a lot more than we think, and people just don't like the evidence or complain about evidence or whatever. Does Sasquatch like the water, hunt and stalk game by a riverbank underneath the water? Doug, I assume anything's possible with these things. There's many tales that people see them swimming in the water. There's a well-known place I'm going to in Tuscaloosa a lot with some friends that I think they're coming across across the river. Tactically, it kind of exposes you to go through the river. I think they probably do it at night, but anything's possible. Alan Lasser, can you describe the smell? Well, think about a big old pile of dog poop in the summertime, and it's 98 degrees, and you're sitting on it. It's the smell. Like it's awful. It's rank. You immediately. It has no tactical advantage. When the one I have smelled, it's so bad. It's like, oh shit, something's around. And that's how I caught it first, because I could smell it with my nose. I knew, there wasn't no dog poop or anything around that. I stepped in or something stupid like that. But alrighty. Do you feel like military background gives you an edge and advantage? Nope. They come to me. I don't come to them. I'm not that smart to think I could even get nowhere close to them. They come in to me. That's why a lot of times the best thing is to have a fire. And these people will come in, make noise. Not these people. These things will come in, make noise. Just act like you're doing something. They'll come in a lot of times. That's why I have the thermal always pointing on record. Delane, do you read the BFR report from Baldwin County, November 11th, crossing the Foley Breach Express? I did, Delane. I did see that. Nothing surprises me when it comes to Bigfoot sightings, but good for them. Hopefully they got a good look at it. 2 counters here, Ichabod Mud Nuts, 2 counters here in Southeast Ohio, 1 in Douglasville, Georgia, right outside Atlanta, 20 miles southerly. Thanks again, brother. Yes, sir. Sorry. Lots of encounters in Georgia. It's always encounters in Georgia. Jamie King, I've never experienced a smell. Well, maybe you will. I hope you do, my friend. It's something that's quite the game changer. It's just nasty. What is the best evidence we have for Bigfoot in your opinion? I think the Patterson-Gimlin footage is a very a good indicator, but there's a lot of other footage out there. There's footage out there that's very real. I believe a lot of the footage I've seen from the guys that do it like me privately. There's a lot of good stuff out there that's never seen a lot today, and these people don't want to just deal with the bullshit of publishing it. So I think there's a lot of evidence out there. What do you think they are? I think they're kind of like a wood ape. I follow the Wood Ape Society. Talk to them guys a lot. I kind of follow along with them. It gives off heat. I've got it on thermal a couple of times. I know it does. So it's living and breathing. So that's my opinion, though. I could be wrong. Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Do you think that some people are natural magnets to attract Bigfoot? I don't know. I mean, a lot of times when I take new people out, it's almost like the creatures will act up and goof off more when they're around than whenever they see my face. So that's quite possible. Some people are natural magnets. I don't know. It's like saying like some people are natural magnets to ghosts. I don't really know. I mean, it's something I know. Like I said, when I take new people out, I have a lot of crazy stuff happen. And nothing ever happens when I'm by myself or with somebody else. It happens in small moments, Let me see. North Georgia, yes, North Georgia is very active with them. Alrighty. Okay, there was something else. I read about having a fire, but the old Night Stalker sold me also on going in without a fire. It also gives results for them. I think it's a curiosity in general, Jamie. Yeah, you never know. I mean, one thing with Bigfoot hunting is I've tried all kinds of different tactics. One of the things I'm doing right now is I have a big light, LED light with a circle, and I'm putting my thermal in the middle of it, and I'm trying to maybe get them looking at it in a fixed area to get them on the thermal. So yeah, but that fire, I like that fire. It just seems to be easier when you're old. Question: what's the scariest thing you've heard in the woods? The scariest thing you ever hear in the woods is like, I don't know if we need to shoot. It might be somebody. I've heard that a couple of times, and I've been kind of freaked out, screamed, "Hey!" That's the scariest thing in the woods because you don't know in Alabama here, something just blow you away. I know I've heard a lot of scary things in the woods. I was beside my truck a couple of weeks ago, 5 feet from my truck. I heard somebody talking, and I was like, "Do you hear that?" And we were both like, "We hear it, but we couldn't hear it." So I've had a lot of weird things in the woods. Wood Ape Conservatory, yes, that's it. I like them guys. Do you think the resting smell of Bigfoot can be used against them when it comes to evading dogs or even people? I think it can because it's going to give them away really fast. And even with dogs, they say dogs' nose is 10 times more than a human. So I have no doubt for 1 minute that's true. Okay, let me see what else you got. The one that I saw that smelled so bad, that's how I knew it was there because of the smell. So I think it's possible. What do you think about the Todd Standings footage? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some of it. It looks good. I don't watch a lot of footage. I put a lot of footage. The footage that I watch, I'll be very honest with you, is my own footage, and I spend hours watching my own footage. I don't have time to watch anybody else's. There have been lots of DNA and other proofs out there. I think I live about 40 miles to Salt Fork State Park. Crazy hotspot. Thanks again, brother. Love to learn. Response for this info. Anytime, make a bud. Anytime. Does your thermal display the temperature of what you capture? If so, how warm are they? My new thermal does not do that, but you can see the heat on this new one I've got. You can see it. I mean, it's putting out lots of heat. My old ones did, but I'm not on this new one. I don't know if I have that feature or not. Christmas should smell for a while, arrested smell and dirty at times. I mean, I guess in the summertime it would just, I don't know. Maybe it's this hot as hell, and it's using the bathroom and not clean. I don't know. Who the hell knows? All right, I'm going to do a couple of more. It's 8:47. I'll probably do 5 or 10 more minutes. Skin protection, maybe that's something. Maybe Brian, they talk. I've heard of people say they put mud on their skin to kind of make sure mosquitoes don't. And it'll kill the thermal too, the mud. I'm from Pell City, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. So, Brian says tide standings. Okay. Do you think they cover their own tracks? I don't think they cover their own tracks. I don't think they think like that, but I do think they tactically use cover when they come out of streams. I mean, I've seen them do that. Most people don't really can follow people, but I've seen them come out of streams and going in streams. So maybe so. Who knows? What's the first piece of equipment a new Bigfoot researcher should buy? Bigfoot Society. I think they should go to Walmart and get one of the little infrared cameras. They're some in the sporting goods section now, $100. They record to the unit, 720p, 1080p, $100. You got your card. Go to a bank or a pond, sit there and use that thing. Cheapest money you'll ever spend, and you'll have good evidence. And you'll have evidence on video. A lot of people, get this equipment, and then they never push record. The main thing is push record. So that's probably Bigfoot Society. That's probably the easiest equipment out. And now thermals are getting real affordable, so it's very easy to get them. How do you get rid of a young male that has targeted a female family member? Well, Scott Hicks, there's a lot of questions in this. How do you get rid of a young male that has targeted a female family? So if the creature is throwing stuff at her, usually that's harmless. Just you can get with me if you want to on Facebook, and I can answer you more questions. I mean, maybe it's not targeting her. Maybe it's just mistaken identity. No, not mistaken identity. I'm sorry, but I mean, I don't know. There's a lot in that statement. How do you get rid of a young male? Put up a game camera. If you want to get rid of someone, put up a game camera. Put it in the most obvious place, and they're not going to be in that area soon. They'll avoid the shit out of it. Okay. Do you have a favorite time you experience activity? Jamie King, anytime in the woods. Like what I'm saying, we're going to the family hunting camp. We'll spend 3 days there. Me and my wife we'll ride the side by side all over the place. Use the thermal, set the thermal out, let it record all night. Just been in the woods, my favorite activity, of course. How does their heat signature compare to a human? They're a lot bigger. They put off a lot of heat. One crazy thing about the thermal cameras now is they're so sensitive. When I first got my thermal camera, I got my camera and I'm like, I'm going to see Bigfoot everywhere. Well, you see a lot of rats, see a lot of coyotes, a lot of owls, a lot of birds, a lot of weird shit. When you see a Bigfoot, it's really wide, puts off a shit ton of heat. Tim Dillis, I think they can they can smell at will like a skunk. I think so too, Tim. I totally agree with that. And Tim does a lot of hiking and moving in the mountains in Cherokee. And can't wait to meet you, Tim. Cannot wait to meet you, brother. What about the one single track? And I can't see the rest of that. I find a lot of single tracks. The biggest trackway I ever saw in Alabama was 10 feet. It was coming out of a stream, going across a pasture, and then it just disappeared. I find a lot of single tracks. So I don't know if they're messing with me or I don't know. Who knows? Brian Empey, that is the truth. Who knows? All righty, guys. I want to take one or two more questions. Or I was like, Any more problems with helicopters in the past? No, blue-eyed northern, but let me tell you something. There's a lot of helicopters flying around. I'll go places and I'll see them flying and hear them flying. It's just very odd. What do you think? Why do you think that we can't find their bones when they die? Well, me and my wife, we have a lot of bones in our house. We love like oddities and stuff like that. And we look for bones all the time, and we hardly ever find them, maybe once or twice a year. Most of the time, the forest takes care of its own. When a deer dies, there's 1,000 little scavengers in the forest that kind of clean it up. And it's hard to find regular bones. And so I think that's what happens. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they push trees. I don't know. Just one of the things just constantly I'm asking myself. Thoughts on the Patterson Gimlin film? I mean, it's pretty freaking awesome. It's first footage that was ever captured, or not the first footage, but it's. I think it's pretty cool. I'm a fan. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. I'm going to one more question. If y'all won't do one more question. Okay, why can't you find human remains, billions of us? Well, I found a couple of things that I was wondering. I didn't know if it was human remains, but okay. Yes, sir. Any more questions before I let everybody go? And okay, Gloria says, whenever you're ready. Okay, guys, thank you for interviewing me tonight. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Lauren will be back with 2.5 soon to interview me on Dogman and Paranormal. Got a lot more cool stuff to talk about. Have a great night.